Hey guys, RJ here. I am going to do a different video this time around, and I'm going to be talking about my medic surfing in detail, in hopes of helping those newer medics who want to learn. A quick disclaimer though is that I'm only an open player, I'm not invite. You can take anything I say in this video with a grain of salt. I'm only here to help you guys, I'm not trying to show how good I am. One more quick note is that most of these recordings are taken in one sitting, so my wording might not be the best, it's not practiced, so I'm sorry if it sounds informal or unprofessional. That being said, a quick tutorial on how to surf is simply holding spacebar and control or jump and crouch and using your mouse movements to control yourself in the air. One important thing to note is that as you move your mouse while you're flying in the air, you can also use A or D to help control your movement. If you're holding A, you can move your mouse to the left, to airstream left. If you're holding D and moving your mouse to the right, you'll move to the right in the air. Do not hold W when airstrafing. So let's talk about how to practice your surfing. The first is going to be through surf maps, which are designed for easy, medium, and hard skills. And in this video clip, you can see that in the middle of the screen there, you can see what keys I'm hitting. First jump here, you notice that as I simply hold jump, crouch, and A and not move my mouse, I simply fall off this prism, this triangle. I can control my movement and change direction in the air by changing the strafe key and moving my mouse to that direction. It doesn't matter which side you start on. If you start with D and change to A or D, it doesn't matter as long as you have the correct strafe key. Now, this surf clip is not meant to show how good I am at surf maps, only to prove a concept. And one important thing that as you get more advanced is that you can do strafing backwards as well. All you have to do is hold the same strafe key, but move your mouse in the opposite direction in a backwards motion. You can find surf maps by searching up surf_ in your server browser. Next we'll talk about a game called Ulti-Duo, which is a 2v2 game mode in a COD format, which is one soldier and one medic pair versus another soldier and medic pair. So here's a clip of Ulti-Duo, which is, this map is Ulti-Duo_blue, B-A-L-O-O. Ulti-Duo is a great mode for practicing overall medic play and pocket medic synergy, in the sense that it's a small map and 2v2 makes the game very hectic, and staying alive is really important. Notice how you can work on both personal surfing and crossbows in helping your teammate. This is also a good mode to learn how to do basic dodging, small surfing, and other nuances of being a medic. The overall goal of the mode is to simply cap the point and hold it like it's Viaduct, Lakeside, or other COD maps. You can play Ulti-Duo with your friends on a private server, and thirdly, you can play MGE with a friend, preferably a soldier or a demo, for explosive jumping. Note that MGE is a very isolated way of practicing surfing. It's a good way to practice the timing of rockets for the soldier and surfing for the medic. The only problem with this is that the timing might be different because it's so isolated and focused, whereas in the real game, the timing might be more predictable. The good thing here is that it's isolated and you can work on specific surfs or specific timings if you want to work with your friend more in depth. It's important to note that MGE is not about winning, but more about the practice. You will be dying a lot during MGE practices like this, but it's for you and your friend's benefit. So with practicing out of the way, now we'll get into the 3 states of awareness in surfing. There are 3 states of awareness when surfing. The first is being fully aware of the location and timing of incoming damage. This is usually your best bet. Second is being semi-aware, which means that you know one of the two, but not the second. And thirdly, being fully unaware, which is usually the worst spot. You don't know either of these things. I've color-coded these in green, yellow, and red. In levels of danger, green is the safest, meaning that you have full control of what's going to happen in the situation. You know where damage is coming from and you know the timing. With semi-aware, you should take caution because you know one of the two, but you don't know both, which is what you want. You could die here. And red is dangerous. You could die because you don't know where damage is coming from and you don't know how to get away. So let's start with some examples of some fully aware surfs that are pretty common in most scrims, matches, and pugs that I've played in. Here's an old scrim clip of mine where my team is trying to hold mid after a failed last push. We go down 2 players, and it's myself and my scout and I rather, stuck in choke. And I have 80% Uber, so my goal here is to stay alive. My scout is here to protect me, but I hear a call that a soldier is jumping through choke. And that's when I see the soldier myself. Here's the perfect situation. My scout is on the soldier is focused on me. I know exactly where the damage is coming from, and I know when he's going to shoot me because he's trying to kill me. So all it takes is a simple jump, and I surf the rocket onto bats with some mouse control. And now I'm alive, and the soldier is dead as my scout cleans up the kill. This next clip is of a failed Uber push out of last from my team as they're backing up onto our left side. My team cleans up a scout behind us, and as my team begins to get buffs and looking to push back in, Uber demo comes in. This is a bad spot to be in because all of us are bunched up, and I'm likely to take damage. As right there, I see the sticky flying onto the ground, and all it takes is a simple jump crouch and backward strafe next to the wall to save my life, with some dodging thrown in as well. And with that, me staying alive helps my team clean up the kills and stay alive themselves. This next clip is of my team and I looking to push into mid, as we have Uber advantage. I hear a call that a soldier's jumping from the flank as my flank is rotating for buffs. And right here, I know exactly where the damage is coming from, and I know when it's going to hit me. So all it takes is a simple jump crouch and air strafe up on a height advantage to save myself and the Uber. This next clip is a Uber push into 2, with my team going through the window and into yard of Snakewater. It's important to note that I get forced here, and we're trying to force the enemy's Uber. I flash my teammates, and notice that right here, my Uber's almost over. I'm still Ubered right now, but I only have 90 health, and the soldier is looking directly at me, meaning that I know exactly where the damage is coming from. Once the Uber's over, all it takes is knowing the timing, and a jump crouch surf into the window saves my life. More advanced examples will be shown later in things of the intricacies of surfing and landing and other such things. But first, let's go into some more examples of semi-aware surfs this time around, where I only know either where the damage is coming from or the timing, but not the other. This next clip is a post-mid win for my team as my scout demo and I are trying to cap the point. I'm just now getting Uber. As I'm capping, I hear a rocket jump off to my side. Now I'm pausing it here because I didn't actually see the soldier up until I see him in the air right now. Now it's important to know that I only have 98 health right now, and I have full Uber. I could have easily popped this, but that would have been what the roamer wanted. So my reasoning here is that I want to surf away to save my Uber and my life, at the cost of a lot of health. The timing is important here because I didn't know where the soldier was after I saw him in the air there for that half second. The timing was something that I didn't know. The timing was something that I had to guess. And this jump and surf was pretty lucky considering that I only knew one of the two. This next clip is a after mid win once again on Viaduct this time, as my soldier and my scout are helping me cap the point. Both of my teammates clean up that scout, and as we're capping the point, I see the soldier jumping me from the left. It's important to note that this might look like a fully aware situation, but the reason it isn't is because I was bunched up with my team, and I wasn't sure if the soldier was trying to shoot me or my soldier, who was very hurt at the time. Luckily, the timing on that rocket was fairly obvious in the sense that I saw it coming from a mile away, so I was able to surf away onto cliff without being injured too much and overall staying alive. Once again, more advanced examples will be shown later in the video. But let's move on to the fully unaware examples. These are where I don't know where the damage is coming from or what the timing is. These are really tough to do, and they're often very lucky, but sometimes it comes down to just guessing. This first example is the beginning of a mid-fight on CP Metalworks. As this mid starts, I begin to heal my team, but I hear and see a soldier jumping on from the right. And here's where I don't know anything. I see the soldier next to me, but I don't know where he's looking. I don't know when he's shooting, how many rockets he has, and other things. As I helplessly spin around, I try to guess the timing, and I jump at just the right time, with just the right angle to surf, up to the roof and out. Later on, I end up surfing one Stuki and one more rocket, all the way towards Alley to get that health pack. Overall, staying alive and getting out of that mid-fight. This next clip is a retreat for mid with my team on process. I'm going to play this one at full speed with no pauses this time, because that's where I think this is a fully unaware situation. Things happened too fast to where I simply had to guess the timing on the rocket and surf away. Jumping off there might have been a risky decision in the sense that my team might not have been able to save me, but luckily it all worked out in the end. This next clip, once again at full speed, is the beginning of a mid-fight with my team. We end up getting 3 picks, and right here I hear a rocket jump off to my right. Now, this is where it gets tough because I only heard the sound. I didn't see the soldier, and I don't know directly where he's coming from, but I'm assuming he's jumping for me. Now, I only have to guess the timing in most cases, but in this case I had to do both. My air control was a little bit delayed because I didn't actually know the rocket hit me until I was already in the air. I jumped out of reaction from hearing the sound, and I got hit with the rocket and was able to surf on the crates without any trouble. And now that we've gone through all 3 types of awareness when surfing, let's go into some more advanced examples where these examples don't really fit any of these categories. They usually take a lot more precision and a bit of second effort as well. This first clip is a after Uber push defending mid with my team. As I begin to heal my players, I hear and see the explosion on the top of my screen. Now the reason this is an advanced surf or technique is because I had to know how many rockets the soldier had. He used one to jump, and I see one right in front of me. I have to assume that he only has 2 left, and that he's going to shoot one as soon as he lands, because he wants to get maximum damage without dying. Sure enough, I predicted correctly and end up jumping surfing away back in the kitchen and into safety. This next clip at full speed is a time where my team and I split up temporarily, where my scout picks me up back on train. As I begin to look around and trying to hold, I hear and see the soldier jumping out a window. With a simple backstrafe onto lower, I stay alive as well. This is advanced more so because the backstrafing was a little bit hard to do, and it can be hard for newer medics who might not know how to do that. This next clip is rather short, and only to illustrate the point that when surfing it doesn't have to be just explosives, it can be any damage. Crossbows, in this case meat shots or scattergun bullets, hit scan, anything can be surfed as long as you have space and you take enough damage. You'll fly further the more damage you take. This clip will be broken down into many parts. Firstly, I hear a call from my scout on the right about that blue scout in our yard. As I try to catch my pocket on the left, the soldier jumps me. Now, I'm still keeping track of both my pocket's health, the soldier jumping me, and the scout. I really want to surf this rocket, and I try, but I catch the wrong side of it and I end up going straight up in the air. Here's that scout that was on the right. And with a quick second effort jump, I end up surfing the rocket and the scatter shot without hitting the wall, and overall staying alive. This is more advanced because the second effort was mostly in the timing of the rocket and knowing that the scout was coming for me next. This clip also shows how a second effort surf or jump can also save your life. I'm going to be quiet during this one and just let you watch it at full speed. This clip is of a team push into mid on Koth coal plant. As I begin to buff my roamer and buff my demo, I see the soldier jump. Now I've heard and seen that rocket going past me. I know that I'm going to take that damage. So all I'm expecting is another rocket to be shot at me. And all it takes is a simple jump and surf in a circle back to shutter. I'm almost dying actually with 7 HP as that scout was looking to shoot me. Luckily I get away to the pack and stay alive. I consider this clip more advanced because of the air control that it took. Knowing that I took the damage while looking right at it, being able to 180 and still keep my air movement precise is something that might be tough for newer medics wanting to learn how to surf. This clip is of a mid-retreat from my team as we're hoping to hold 2 eventually with our spawners. As I'm backing up with my pocket and my scout, I begin buffing other players. Now this clip is advanced more because sometimes you don't need just 1 rocket to surf. Sometimes 2 will do. And in this manner, backwards strafing is extremely important, but also look at where I'm looking directly down to see if I'm being shot at anywhere. I can easily strafe that air shot attempt simply by knowing where it's coming from and knowing where I am in the map. Being able to know where I am in the air and where I want to land is extremely important, and that's why I was able to survive and land in a rollout. In the likes of precise air control, this last one is one of those as well. After my team caps to midpoint on call the coal plant once again, I begin buffing my players. When I hear a call that a soldier's jumping me from the left side, I assume for myself, flying at me very quickly. The surf between the crate and the wall was something that was almost not necessary. I really just wanted to get to the pack, but I knew that if I made the surf through those, I would have been completely safe. That soldier was too far away to re-jump me. Now that we have those examples of how surfing is helpful, let's talk about where surfing is not. I only have one example of this in my recordings, but I hope that it helps you understand that you shouldn't be surfing everything. And this is something that I'm trying to work on myself as the time of this video. This clip is from an old match of mine on Gully Wash as my team tries to cap the midpoint. I'm trying to help my roamer out by giving him some heals to win that fight, but I end up taking one of the rockets that was aimed for him, and my roamer still dies. Now here's the bad spot. I am back with my pocket at about less than half health, and I took that damage for no real reason. My roamer still died. I even take that sticky, and my next reaction is to go into the pack and get some more health. But just as I was hoping to do that, a scout comes up from elbow and gets me for the 20-ish health that I have left. Which, in my case, is not good, because I could have easily not surfed that rocket. I could have easily not even gone over there, and I would have been in a much better spot. Surfing that rocket was not necessary, and it didn't help me in the slightest. So now that we've talked about where surfing is good and bad, I think it's important to summarize everything in hopes that anyone who's watched this video either all the way through or hasn't at all will get something to take away from it. So first, let's start with the medics. Always be aware of your surroundings and listen to your team's calls. This might seem basic to some of you, but it's important to note that you need to pay attention when you're playing medic. If you don't, for even a second, you could die at any time. If your teammate calls something on you and you don't know it's there, that's your fault. And that's important. Secondly, don't always resort to surfing as your way to escape. You can almost always be in a better position, or you can be more aware of what's happening so you don't have to surf in the first place. If there's a wall to cover behind, if there's a shutter door to close to avoid you from taking that damage from that soldier bombing you, you should really try to do that. Thirdly, do your best to always work with your team. You're a medic and that's your job. You should not be playing selfishly. You shouldn't be taking surfs just to be flashy. You need to know when to surf. If your team is expecting you to Uber in on a choke and you surf away and save the Uber, then your teammates will die. That's not playing with your team. You need to surf at the right time and also know when to surf in general. Next, we'll move into Soldiers, Scouts, and Demos, the DM classes. Firstly, understand when it's a good time to jump on the medic. This might be something very simple to some, again, but it's important to know that you usually want to get on the medic when he's not aware of you. It's very simple. But once you get there, you want to work on not being predictable in your timing of damage. This means that the medic can read when you're going to shoot a rocket or a scattergun or a sticky and simply surf away. So being unpredictable and being effective is really important in destroying that medic and getting the kill. One other important note here is that you can also try to not even give the medic an angle to surf. If you hit him in the feet, it makes surfing very easy, but if you hit him in the head or the middle of the chest, surfing is nearly impossible. And that's all I have for today, guys. I really want to say thanks for watching, especially if you watched this all the way through. I really hope that it's helped at least one of you. I know that my medic videos might not be the most interesting thing to some of you, but I hope that it's helped in some way, and that you can reference it for later. I'm putting timestamps of everything important in the video description, so if you need to reference anything, it'll be down there. Take care, guys.